Hey guys, this is BB Games here, and if you've watched any of my past videos, you might know that I really like baseball. It's also quite possible that I've never mentioned this in any of my videos. I don't really remember. I like the sacred game of baseball so much, in fact, that the name BB Games was made from my old PSN username BaseballBoy11100, where BB is baseball boy. I've just stuck with it since then because it rolls off the tongue. So it's no surprise that I like baseball video games like MLB The Show, Backyard Baseball, and my most played of all of the baseball video games is the game that I'm talking about today, Mario Super Sluggers on the Wii. The title screen brings back so many memories of childhood summers in which I used to play this game religiously. I thought it was some type of good luck charm to play it before an actual baseball game, which shows you how much of an idiot that I was. Recently, I've been looking back on these memories, and while doing so, I found the urge to play the game again to see if it held up. One of the things that made this game so fun for me was the in-depth strategy involved. You couldn't just throw your team together. You had to put delicate thought into each spot, or else Conky Dong would slowly remove your toes to add it to his ever-expanding toe collection. Hitters that could hit the ball over the fence would get put in the 4th spot because that's when there's more likely to be people on base. Incompetent players win spots where they're least likely to get the ball hit to them. On top of this, the chemistry system came into play. If you put two players with chemistry either next to each other in the batting order or in the field, you would be able to use special abilities. When fielding, having chemistry will allow you to catch the balls that would normally be home runs or make an incredibly quick throw to one of the bases from the outfield. When batting, you could get a random item that could be used to mess up the opposing fielders so that the ball will land somewhere that isn't a baseball glove. This could allow you to block the opposing team trying to rob you of a home run, which was incredibly useful. Everything that I was talking about earlier was in past tense because today, even though this type of strategy is still kind of fun, it's unnecessary because the game is too easy. While playing with randomized teams in the hardest difficulty, I won every game. The closest of these games was my 6-run victory, and the biggest blowout was when I won by 31. This could mean one of two things. Either the AI is not programmed to be hard enough, or I'm the greatest to ever play the game. I personally think that it's the latter. It would not be wise to challenge me in a game of Mario Super Sluggers because it would quickly become clear who is the alpha male when I strike you out with one of the Squidbillies. Joking aside, I think the fact that I've been playing this since I was a kid is part of the reason that this is a problem. In part of my last video, I was talking about how the harder difficulties in Metroid Prime just kinda slow the game down for me at this point. In my most recent playthrough of that game, to get footage for that video, I didn't die once, so it wouldn't be too out there to say that spending years with these games has led to me mastering them. The difference is that the lack of difficulty doesn't really hurt Prime that much because of the type of game that it is, while it makes this game impossible to play for long periods of time. Once you get the timing down to the hitting in this game, there really isn't anything the pitchers can do to stop you. That's why I'm having difficulty coming up with ways that could have made this more difficult without it being unfair. Sure, the AI makes some stupid mistakes as exemplified by this clip, but it's usually somewhat solid. The AI is good at hitting itself, so the ease comes from the AI's pitching. The most obvious fix to this would be online play because other players would likely be better than the AI. Sure, there's local multiplayer, but even when this game wasn't a thing of the past, it was hard to find people to play Mario Super Sluggers with. And when I did, they were usually too bad at the game to pose any sort of challenge, so online would have helped the game immensely. The other way to make this more challenging would be to implement some sort of level 5 difficulty, where pitchers threw quicker and their other pitches weren't as obvious. Usually changeups and curveballs give themselves away too quickly, which renders them ineffective. But making it harder to tell which pitch was which would make it more difficult. The character balancing is another problem, as characters like King K. Rool and the Piantas hit a home run almost every time. The previously mentioned chemistry system was probably meant as a way to balance this issue, but you could easily use the same system to prevent the AI from robbing your home runs by making your lineup cater to the chemistry of the best hitters. Another problem that I have with this is that the story mode was not remarkable. The plot is that Princess Peach made a baseball island, and now Bowser Jr. is invading it, and you have to beat him at baseball to get it back. This isn't exactly engaging, and the gameplay is just as lackluster. You just walk around and solve simple puzzles in order to recruit players that don't join you unless you complete a certain challenge. This could be useful for learning the game, but otherwise it's useless. Some type of season mode where you pick a team and are placed in a league against AI where your record and stats are kept would have been much better than this mode. Another game mode is the toy field, which is a slightly fun minigame. You hit the ball and try to land on point spots without the other players catching it. Whoever ends up with the ball in the field gets to hit it next. As I said, this game is fun, but only in short bursts. It's likely more fun with other people. There are other minigames as well, but they range from mediocre to uncontrollable because of a combination of weird analog and motion controls. At this point though, it probably seems like I hate this game, but that's not the case. I love how fast-paced the gameplay is. Full games take only around 30 minutes to complete, which helps considerably when you consider this game's shortcomings. Also, I like the motion controls. Go ahead and make fun of me. But I find it satisfying to swing and hit the ball or to pitch it. They aren't one-to-one controls, but it works fine as demonstrated by me steamrolling every opponent. Though I could do without the pointless waggle to get the base runners to move quicker, as it hurts my shoulder if I play for too long. I could also do without the quick time events that decide calls for close plays because they add nothing to the game and they are overly easy to execute. I think that I only lost one throughout my entire time playing with the game. The sound design also plays into the controls being satisfying. When you hit a home run, this sound plays. Or when you time up one of your pitch deliveries perfectly, this plays. Speaking of sound, the music is pleasant as well. It isn't anything groundbreaking, but it gets the job done, bringing those summer vibes. The game isn't too stunning visually, but it does just enough not to hinder the game, featuring a variety of different themed stadiums that are all nice and colorful. Speaking of stadiums, each stadium with the exception of Mario Stadium has its own gimmick. Like Yoshi Park, which features a train that drives in the middle of the outfield, Peach Ice Garden, which is on ice, and Daisy Cruiser, which has tables. I found that this was a nice touch, as I never got tired of seeing the outfielders get ran over by a train. Though Peach Ice Garden could be annoying because of its deep fences where if you hit the ball to the fence, the AI will never throw you out, and you'll just be waggling your Wii remote to get your character to run around the bases. Why not just cut out the middle man and move the fences in, because I'm going to get a home run anyways. The last thing that I want to touch on is the character roster. Even though some of the characters had balancing issues, I felt that the roster had a good variety of characters that made what I previously mentioned about trying to work the player's strengths fun. With all this being said, I don't think that this is a game that I would recommend as it is deeply flawed, unless you find it for cheap. Still, I personally enjoy it in short bursts, and will always revisit it once in a while because of its relevance to my childhood. I also make this video in the hopes that someday Nintendo will make a Mario baseball game that fixes some of the problems mentioned here, because this style has potential, and Nintendo is fully capable of doing everything that I mentioned in this video. Until then, I guess I'll just be left wondering if I'm the greatest Mario baseball player ever. There is some type of Mario sports game that either recently came out or is coming out soon that I saw Nintendo advertising, but it looked watered down compared to this one, so I doubt this type of game that I'm wanting will ever happen. If I'm wrong about that game, then tell me in the comments because I hope that I am. But anyway, thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed the video.